Landmark location for full details and experience the Landmark difference.
Load up on meat and more this spring at The Mercado by Certified Piedmontese with great selections of T-bones, tomahawks, ribeyes, filet mignon, brisket, sirloin, and so much more. The Mercado has locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, where you can have $2 draft beer every Thursday night from 4 to 8 p.m. and half-price espresso drinks on Fridays from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services is here to help you protect things that are most important to you. Whether it's your home, your family, or your future, Jack Russell has the proven experience to get the job done while developing authentic relationships with you. Give Jack a call today at 402-421-9100. Again, that's 402-421-9100. Or visit one of his 2 locations in Lincoln or Seward and learn how you can excel in the complicated world of insurance. Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services, a trusted and well-respected representative since 1999.
Ticket listeners know a dream team when they see one. At Applied Connective, we've been in the game for 20 years and have developed a team of world-class leaders in all things IT. From cybersecurity and Microsoft products to physical security, audio-video, infrastructure, business phone systems, and anything in between. We'll help you leverage technology to become your most secure, efficient, and profitable. Head to our website to check out real reviews and testimonials and sign up for a free tech consultation. We can show you where you might be vulnerable, inefficient, or overspending. It's a game changer, and it's totally free. Claim yours right now at appliedconnective.com.
In every office, there's 2 types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is Old School, sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Well, we're back. Jay Foreman, Austin Orman, Old School, the New School Way, coming at you live, 1040 O Street. We are brought to you by the Mercado, Certified Piedmontese, Special Ingredients and Butcher Shop. 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, 85th and Old Cheney, and Andrew 168th and Maple up there in the O. A lot going on in college football. Also, you got NBA Finals about to tip off, I think, tomorrow, and NHL Finals are tonight. MLB is in full effect. Kansas City Royals, next big prospect, went 0 for 5.
Should we get a hockey segment sponsored? Is the Minnesota in you coming out enough to talk hockey?
I love hockey.
Maybe we need a sponsored hockey segment. I know we got a lot of people here that always ask us for more NHL talk.
Yeah.
I don't know about it, but if you can talk hockey, I'll learn hockey. I'll talk
NHL
it
Finals.
with you.
I'm telling you, it's the hardest championship to win. I think it's the grind. And in hockey, the best thing about hockey, it's still old school because you got guys play for each other, and you have superstar players. They protect each other, and you can play a really good hockey or have a really good hockey game, and it'd be 2-1.
Mm-hmm.
And there's always action. So it's not like soccer where there'll be like 2-1 and it'll be like 8 shots on the goal. So, hockey, obviously moving to Minnesota, you realize like, obviously it's a hockey state. I just couldn't afford to play. And that's not a woe is me. It was just like hockey equipment is expensive. At that point in time, you're constantly growing. And in hockey, I don't think is a sport unless you're really superior at skating and shooting that you can take up later on in life, because it's a sport that obviously you gotta learn how to skate. You got to be an effective skater. Skating isn't just like going around into like the ice rink. You got to be able to skate. You got to be tough, and then you got to be, you got to learn how to, as your body grows, to shoot the puck. And that's all just to possibly just play club. And they travel just probably
get rec
more.
league, beer league, yeah.
Yeah, they play more than or as much as basketball.
Yeah, 80-some games.
Yeah, games are tough, man. So, it's Edmonton against the Panthers. It's a rematch.
I saw Edmonton.
Yeah,
when I was in Vegas.
Yeah, they're good.
They're solid.
McDavid is.
I didn't see him. He was out that game.
He's the
sad.
supposed to be the next Gretzky. He's superiorly skilled. Obviously he's young and looking for his first championship. And then the Panthers are pesky. They don't make mistakes defensively. It's kind of like I'll compare it to basketball. Virginia and that pack the line defense. They are not giving up anything in the middle. And then Edmonton is superiorly skilled. I think they got a little bit tougher this year. I think they learned from being let down last year, and so we'll see. Very rarely do you get a chance to get that get back.
Right.
Yeah, and so they're going to try to do that.
And like you said with football, sometimes it's harder to get back being the runner-up.
Right.
Like the Niners, the Eagles,
and they've been knocking on the door in Edmonton. Look, when Wayne Gretzky and Mark Messier and McCarthy is all those when they were up there, they were in that small town in Edmonton, just running through the league. It was Montreal before that, but Edmonton had a nice little run, and so if you ever get a chance, Austin, watch. It's like the Hard Knocks during the season, NHL version. I mean, they follow around the guys in Toronto Maple Leafs. Each guy, they had a guy with Nashville Predators, a guy for Pittsburgh, I think, and then McDavid and him, and then they had one of their star players, I think, for the Edmonton or for Florida Panthers. So it was interesting to see how they go about their business. I mean, you think that being down in Florida, there's no hockey down there. Except
Panthers are
doing it. They're explosive enough on offense to do well, but it's the toughness that they've been able to do. And then obviously you got to think, remember the Carolina was good for a little while. So I mean, it doesn't matter where you're at. I mean, heck, the Vegas Knights, I think they won within the first year or two.
Yeah.
And they still have a legit squad. One of the players that they followed was on their team, and so I think it's going to be a good series. I'm excited to see how they get after it a little bit. Matthew, was it Kachuk? Kachuk. And
Mr. Matthew.
Yeah, he's kind of like a squirrely guy. He starts stuff, but he's actually good enough on offense you got to take him serious. And so he'll throw hands a little bit, but then also he has great leadership skills. And he wanted to be for the Florida Panthers. I'm sure he's enjoying the sun down there. They followed him around. He has a boat and stuff like that. And obviously it doesn't fit the mold of a hockey player, but they still have every hockey player seems like they just wet their hair and walk around all day. They all look the same. Tough dudes though, man. So excited for that. But with the college football playoffs, I think we heard Kirby Smart and everybody, and they must have been having like their coaches like meetings with the commissioner. Now the Big Ten is on Ryan Day, who's the defending national championship coach. So the Big Ten deserves 4 automatic bids. What do you think about that?
I don't like it.
You don't like the Big Ten getting 4 automatic bids?
I don't like that many automatic bids.
I
think it's stupid.
Do you think 3 would be good?
No, I think you win your conference championship game, you get an automatic bid.
And that's it.
Well,
then that's how you get like SMU and all them in there.
Yeah. Cool. I still like the 5+11 if we're going to go to 16. Or if we're going to do multiple automatic bids, whatever you want to call it, we got to get rid of conference championship games. But then what I want to consider the actual college football playoff is like the final 8 teams. Like if you want to call it the whole thing, the college football playoff, and include, Big Ten 1 versus Big Ten 4, Big Ten 2 versus Big Ten 3 as the, round of 16 or whatever.
Right.
Fine. But we're not doing Big Ten 1 versus Big Ten 4, Big Ten 2 versus Big Ten 3 just to see, Big Ten 1 and 2 play for the Big Ten championship.
Yeah.
All under the banner of the college football playoff. I want it to be a system where we either have conference championship games that matter, or we just got to drop the ruse and go full professional model, where you don't play between,
That's a lot of time off, though. But if you're not in the championship game, it doesn't matter.
Well, wouldn't it work for college football to move its playoff up? Get done with the regular season, so you're not fighting with NFL playoffs. Get onto the transfer portal.
Weeks. Yeah,
there's no reason you need a month off,
and you don't need the transfer portal to be open that long.
No, you don't.
Yeah, and it'd be ideally you might be able to get it done before. I'd have to look at it before.
So if the week of Thanksgiving is the last week of the regular season,
and then you would give
those teams a week off,
So that puts you to December. So say you play the middle of December.
Mm-hmm.
And then another 7 to 10 days off, right? For sure. You can't play games within the week. So just say the magic number is 8 to 9 days.
Mm-hmm.
So that puts you almost kind of to New Year's Eve. So now you're already in the second round. So you go from
as opposed to the first
16
round
down to your 8. Now and then you do in January, you're kind of in your semifinals.
Or
so you're done in the middle
of January.
Yeah, you're done.
Or do we start college football
early,
a week or two earlier, so
like
that the national championship game is being played New Year's Day?
I like that. I like that better. Now I'm gonna tell you, the teams that want guys to get healthy, they're gonna be mad at us. I like it. I like to start it earlier.
Mm-hmm.
I think if you started earlier, you change the whole off season.
Yes.
I think you go to an NFL model, and you have an allotment of practices, and you schedule them whenever you can or whenever you see fit, and I think that will help you to evaluate and develop more strategically. And I think the coaches that have more NFL people and experience with them will actually do better.
So
earlier.
Yes, I will amend. Maybe it doesn't have to be New Year's Day to play the championship game, but the 20th of January
I think it needs
late.
to be done
by the second week.
The second week. Yeah.
You can't. You shouldn't be playing your championship game any later than the 13th.
Yeah, I was going to say the 10th or late, but
somewhere in
and
there.
it all depends on when New Year. Yeah, I
Right.
like it. I like it starting earlier. I think you can capture. I think you can capture more football eyes since the NFL preseason isn't as attractive anymore.
Mm-hmm.
That's where you're getting it going early. I think the first year will be a little bit, tough sledding because you're not used to that schedule based on what you've done the year before.
Mm-hmm.
But I think once you get into year 2 or 3 of it, I think it's going to be flow. And I think it actually helps college football a lot more. Then actually, I think it obviously helps the NFL's work more. And you got a partnership indirectly by just changing your schedule. Mm-hmm. And you got to change it. You change your offseason. Just think if you have players on your roster like that, you see them that come in here and they like the kid that transferred from Texas to Washington.
Mm-hmm.
You would like to have the early enrollees, guys that are coming off rehab, your lower end of your lower number of your roster. So let's say from 80 to 105, maybe even 75 to 105, or 80 to say 120. At practicing, competing, evaluating, a slower learning process and a sped up learning process for guys that didn't get a lot of reps during the previous season for various reasons. And then you bring in the veterans, the guys that that you're recruiting out of the transfer portal that are more ready-made, guys that maybe had decisions to make, and then they're back into it. You're kind of getting into that veteran type of then you have so that'd be say 4 practices then, right? And then you have your first team one after the transfer portal is closed, and say it's 2 practices, just kind of a get together type of deal. You know what I mean? And then you go 4, so that's 6 plus 4 is 10, and then you spread out the next 10 from into kind of spring ball, which is now, until you get started. So you could have 4 or 5 practices, meaningful or not, with your squad after the late portal before you hit the ground running in training camp, which then therefore you wouldn't have to have as long as training camp because you've had it all through the spring and the early summer. And that's why you could start early and you get more eyes on it. And you could possibly, in theory, in my head, which doesn't have a lot of stuff going on right now, but I think that if this came years down the road, I would like to think, even though it's not as appealing right now to play harder non-conference games, I would be more, for me as a decision maker, even though, say, the juice and the squeeze, I would be more apt to play like Clemson and Notre Dame, assign deals with that. Nebraska, Colorado, Nebraska, Oklahoma, 4 years with Colorado, 4 years with Oklahoma, understanding I'm coming in more and ready. I should be more prepared. Because I've had more time to scout. I've had more time to game plan. And I feel like my team was even fresher and we're more ready to hit the line running. And I don't have to play you week 1. I can play you week 3. And ideally, then you would change, obviously, I'll call it the grading system of college football, the point system. You would probably maybe be able to capture the first CFP rankings. Now, it also would coincide with if you have a top league and a second league, and that's all going to be dictated on financial reasons. But if you're at the top of the second league, the promotion will be just coming in January. Then you're on the same schedule.
Yeah.
See, we just solved the world's problems right now.
I think that it'd be really good for college football to start sooner, right? I mean, it'd help us in our content creation.
Yeah.
We're talking about this in July legitimately instead of having to wait till August gets going and then wait till the end of the month. I think if college football can have its playoffs going on, even NFL week, 15, 16, 17, before week 18 when you're still deciding playoff spots. Sure, there's going to be some overlap just naturally. But this is where, Jay, I think if college football moved it up as well, some people say, well, you're acquiescing to the NFL. Okay, you kind of have to. They're the biggest
There's
brand
nothing wrong with that.
in American sports right now is the NFL. And I would beg whoever makes this decision to play the gosh dang championship game on a Saturday.
Yeah.
That's where college football belongs. Because
Saturday
if you
night.
get into December and January, you're clearly into Monday Night Football territory.
Yeah.
Right? You can't go up against the NFL on Monday night. You wouldn't want to. And everyone knows college football's on Saturdays. Your round of 8, whatever you want to call it, games are 11, 2, 5, and 8 Central. Maybe the Rose Bowl is the late game, right? So it can be, 6 o'clock Pacific
Or
time
Fiesta
or
Bowl
whatever.
too,
Fiesta Bowl, whatever. Your 11 o'clock game, I think, is in the Central time zone for a noon Eastern kick. You play one of them in, I don't know, Atlanta at 3.
Yeah.
Play one of them in New Orleans at 5, and then the Rose Bowl, Fiesta Bowl, whatever at 8.
Yeah.
And then you have your 2 semifinals on the same day in 2 separate locations, and then maybe you give the teams a bye week after the semifinals to rest up, prepare, get ready for the media circus. But we don't need 10 days between every game. Part of it is stay in rhythm, stay in the grind. You're used to it. You got to gut it out. Let's see who's the strongest man. But please, for the love of all things holy, end the season on a Saturday. That's the day for college football.
Well, I think you should get more eyes. I think it's becoming harder and harder depending on the location of the championship game on Mondays.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to think people do tailgate or get, kind of have all day get-togethers for a college championship game. And so it's a little bit harder on Mondays. I think it's great because instead of fighting the huge elephant in the room in the NFL, just work along with it and coincide with it, and then obviously benefit off of it.
Mm-hmm.
And the NFL has never had a farm system. This is essentially it. And you're doing some things by eventually talking about having a salary cap, and you got general managers and all that stuff. Well, then why wouldn't you just change the schedule? Because it's not changing the class schedule,
right?
So that's set. We're just changing an off season for football. And it's not only starting in the NFL or starting earlier when the NFL is kind of just getting started, right? And really capturing that. It's also capturing the end of the NFL season where in, week 15, 16, 17, and eventually it'll be 18 really are just like not worth much except for 3 or 4 games. And those games would be working around, and some of them would be Monday night games, and they have flex scheduling.
Sunday night, Monday night.
Around
flex.
What college football would be doing, and college football would be on Saturday anyways.
Yeah.
So if there was a big Saturday night game, say for a playoff spot, or like Bengals, Ravens, that can go Sunday night primetime. That's why they created flex schedule. So take advantage of what the NFL did for their own good and use it to your advantage. And then also you can capture a new part of the target market. Now, baseball would be mad, but that's all right because football, really is king right now. And so you really want to take advantage of it right now. And there's nothing wrong with changing your offseason schedule because you've shown your ability to do so because you changed the amount of times and the timing of the early and late signing period or adding a later signing period. And then you did so with the transfer portal. So you essentially in a roundabout way changed 2 of the biggest things. All you're changing is when they're practicing. That's
right,
it.
right.
Because you're not changing the portal dates. Now you probably could, based on changing the practice, but that's not that hard, right? It's just like free agency periods or whatever. And you can transition tag guys. Some guys where, you have that time where you're in the portal, but you're still on the team. That's like, when you get, franchise or transition tagged, you're still technically the property of the NFL team until the other team signs with them, or you give, say like say I get an offer from Iowa State. Well, maybe during a certain period, you get to actually chance to match it. You can get to an NFL model.
Qualifying offer.
Yeah, qualifying offer. And that'll be actually the fee that they have to pay if they don't, if Nebraska doesn't match. I would welcome it. I think the coaches that have I guess advisors or coaches that know the NFL game, they could, like, if you're in that, when we talked about where, the teams were versus in the Big Ten and nationally, if you're in that below that top four for the Big Ten teams, whether it's Nebraska, Washington, Illinois, Iowa, any of those teams, right? Michigan State, not necessarily Michigan State because he came from Oregon State, but in particularly like Michigan, with Harbaugh and his connection, obviously Wink Martindale with his connection to the NFL, and then obviously Coach Rule has been there before, and then obviously Jed Fish been all over the NFL team. You move right up because this is right. This is how to devil
in your wheelhouse,
right?
Yeah,
you know how to do it. You know how to close deals when it comes down to it. You know exactly what it needs, and you know exactly how to operate and what needs to be done to develop your team in this NFL offseason. You would just. It would lead, to be honest with you, to like it wouldn't be 2 wins per year, but it'd be like 1.35 on average, extra win, and that's extra payday for you,
right?
Because I think a lot of these college coaches are so used to doing it, they would flounder for a while.
Yeah,
flounder
probably.
For a while, because a lot of the times that the coaches are gone, they already have had scheduled for them to go on, whether it's vacations or just not be as kind of in tune with the program. Now they have to change everything. Well, now they're spinning their wheels, and you just know how to adjust on the fly, because that's what the NFL does. And also, you're adjusting on the fly like a ton.
Yeah,
and you don't have to use all the 20 practices.
No,
there's teams sometimes. I know Denver Broncos were notorious for it. Just where they really took care of their players in the offseason, and they never. Sometimes they didn't finish all their mini camps, except for the mandatory one. No pads, no nothing. You take care of the players. You make sure that they're ready and well prepared to play well in the NFL or in the season. Nebraska becomes a lot more attractive, or even more attractive, based on the longevity that you're able to put on their career, but then more importantly, setting them up for success in the fall, but then obviously in the future. See there, Austin. We're not.
We did it.
That's it. Easy.
Nailed it.
Ryan Day did. I agree with it. Automatic bids, maybe not 4. Let's go 3. I think that in closing, I think the SEC, in particular the Big Ten, are the 2 bell cows. Let them dictate, but not dominate what goes. But they have to continue to earn it. I think you can get stripped from it if you have a couple years of bowl season like the SEC has had, and let's hope the Big Ten doesn't, because you can't just keep getting automatic bids and then you're kind of just coasting and being way too comfortable. Yep. So. No need to be comfortable. We're going to a break. We want you to get comfortable, and then we're going to make you uncomfortable out of the break. Jay Foreman, Austin Orman. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Old School with Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Make plans to attend the Nebraska Whiskey Carnival this Saturday at Sideshow Spirits in Lincoln. This unique one-day festival highlights Nebraska distilleries, local vendors, and chill music. A general admission ticket gets you a custom tasting glass and free samples from the distillery booths. Food trucks will be on site to sell food and snacks, and cigars will be available for purchase. Get your tickets today at SideshowSpirits.com. It's the Whiskey Carnival this Saturday from 3 to 6 p.m. at Sideshow Spirits at 16th and P.
In today's digital world, technology works great until it doesn't. At Hamilton, we work to keep your business up and running. We are more than an IT company. We're your partner. focused on customized solutions that set you up for success now and in the future. Say goodbye to tech stress and unexpected IT costs when you hire Hamilton. Together, we help you focus on what really matters. Hamilton Business Technologies. Real people, real technology solutions. Connect with us at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
93.7 The Ticket. Fox KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
The Lincoln forecast for today, patchy fog possible this morning. Otherwise, partly sunny skies and light winds. The high around 77. Tonight, mainly cloudy skies and calm winds, low near 56. And tomorrow, a chance of showers throughout the day. Otherwise, mainly cloudy skies and a high near 74. I'm meteorologist Kyle Fletcher from 93.7 The Ticket. And theticketfm.com.
Advanced Medical Imaging is the largest radiology group in Nebraska, located in Lincoln at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard. At Advanced Medical Imaging, they utilize state-of-the-art technology and blend it together with their compassionate, skilled team to guide you through every step. Whether it's an MRI, CT scan, or X-ray, their precise diagnostics help your doctor deliver the best care plan for you. Choose clarity and comfort in your life by choosing Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard and online at amimaging.com.
Make your move fun and easy with the help of Movers and Shakers. Movers and Shakers is homegrown, female-led, and ready to help make your transition to a new space as seamless as possible. They excel at residential and commercial moving jobs, as well as offer home cleanouts and junk removal services. Moving into a new place is stressful enough, so let Movers and Shakers ease the transition. Give them a call today at 712-899-6265 or book your move online at www.moversandShakersNE.com today.
Saturday. Eagle Raceway is open for a full season of dirt track racing action every Saturday night. Don't miss the epic battles on the high banks of Eagle Raceway each Saturday between the Nebraska Septic Sprint Cars, Nebraska Lottery Modifieds, Avid Realty Sport Mods, Valentino's Hobby Stocks, and A1 Iron Stock Cars. Let's go racing. Eagle Raceway, just 10 miles east of Lincoln on O Street. Check out the full schedule at eagleraceway.com.
Mike, the insurance company wants us to replace the roof.
Wait, what? I thought everything was fine.
Yeah, it says right here our roof is too old and they won't be able to cover us anymore.
I guess it is 15 years old. Hi, I'm Austin with Roofing Service Company. We help homeowners with their roofing and siding projects. Financing options are available, and we can get you under a new roof no time at all. If this sounds like you, visit roofingservicecompany.com. That is roofingservicecompany.com.
Rain, snow, or shine, John Henry's is here to keep your home's plumbing systems working properly no matter what kind of weather Nebraska throws at us. From unclogging toilets and drains to installing new water heaters and water treatment systems, John Henry's is your plumbing expert in the Lincoln and Omaha communities. Visit us at calljh.com or call John Henry's.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air,
and Electrical.
Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services is here to help you protect things that are most important to you. Whether it's your home, your family, or your future, Jack Russell has the proven experience to get the job done while developing authentic relationships with you. Give Jack a call today at 402-421-9100. Again, that's 402-421-9100. Or visit one of his 2 locations in Lincoln or Seward and learn how you can excel in the complicated world of insurance. Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services, a trusted and well-respected representative since 1999.
Back to old school with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We're back. Jay Foreman, Austin Norman, old school. Man, this is a top. I wouldn't say this is a top 10 day. It's definitely a top 15, 20 day.
Haven't been outside in a minute. Need to get back out.
It's a top. What's Nebraska preseason? 23, 24, 24 days. I don't like odd numbers. So it's top 24 day. Since Nebraska football is preseason, should be top 25, right?
Should be.
It's about
at least
time.
In the FPI.
It's about time for these stupid lists to come out.
Kind of surprised they haven't yet.
Boy, I'm gonna tell you, before we didn't have the internet, so we used to always go to Barnes and Noble and look at this stuff. And I used to be pissed off at our sports information. Keith, man, you ain't give me no love, man. I had to work I had that uphill battle. I should have won the buckets. But Andy Casimir won it. Big cat. Hey, I'm going to tell you, man, when you go to the combine, hey, he was big for real, though. Like, he had muscle upon muscle. Now, I think he was enhanced, but I was like, damn, I thought I was in shape. I mean, I thought I was yoked up. I was like, yeah, he's got the physical tools. Except he wasn't too smart.
Oh my, yeah, that's a large human.
Yeah, he was like that big at 18.
Woo.
Yeah.
Neck injury though.
Yeah, tough. And you know what? And that's the only blemish on Pete Carroll in the league. Put him out there when he shouldn't have. Yeah, it was tough. Hey, man, look, neck injuries are no joke. You know what I'm
saying? I have not had to have my neck fused, so no, I don't know what you're saying, but I'll take your word for it.
Ain't no joke. But back then, that's what we was hitting you with this. We hit you. We tried to hit you. I'm trying to headbutt you. You know what I'm saying?
Right?
Yeah. So it's June. And I always tell people this after when you hear this is NFL talk, by the way. Once you hear them talking about mandatory minicamp, June minicamp, that's it. That's where you'll see fights. Remember when Travis Kelce was fighting that dude and guarding him too tough?
Mm-hmm.
That's when I knew the first chink in the armor was. Right? But June minicamp is a lot more intense. Rookies, the coaches aren't as friendly. They're not going to be as kind of laissez-faire with the mistakes, all that stuff. Because it's the last tune-up. Because once comes training camp, we playing for checks. Like, we're playing for real. But when June hits, that's when you actually really start looking at the calendar. It's like the dead man walking. How many more days do I have before I have to go to training camp? And it's not that I hated training camp. It's just the thought. I'm like, damn. Like,
off season come and gone.
Off season come and gone. And you know you have your fair share of fun, and there's plenty of time to do it. But when it's literally like your head hurts. You know, you just broke down.
Can't turn your neck, shoulder.
Can't turn your neck. You got
ankles telling you to run the other way.
Yeah, exactly. Then I was in Buffalo. We were in the St. John Fisher. I mean, these beds was like, they said they were twin beds. These beds was tiny. Yeah, and so you're just not getting a good night's sleep. And then it was physical. Like now they get days off, full days off. They hit one time. They don't even really hit each other. You know, they trying to save these dudes. They were trying to destroy us. So it's a lot different. But yeah, that's it. But you get a little bit more into, game time mode, and just like the Nebraska's football team. Like, you have spring ball, kind of, I call it a celebration of this is what we did in the off season. Look at our new toys. We're gotten better. It's a new mojo. And then I'm sure they got a couple weeks off for finals, right? And then you give it this, summer conditioning. And then as you get to June,
here's reality. Knock.
No, it's on. Like competing in spring ball and everybody's getting, a fair amount of reps. It's like equal playing time in baseball. That's what, like you ain't good at pitching. You ain't pitching.
Right.
That's why I didn't play. Look, man, you can still keep me out there left field and all the center field and all that, but I want to pitch.
Farley put you at third base in his ticket softball team.
Now, is this this is healthy?
Sure.
I could play third.
Even broke down, I think you could handle third.
Yeah, as long as you have good pitching though. We need everything going opposite. I just want to cover third. That's it.
Fair enough.
Yeah. I would, but yeah, it's a different time. I think the one thing I'll say, and we're going to talk a little bit about the AFC Central or North, is that people always ask, like, besides the injuries, why did you retire? The biggest thing is mentally. Yeah, because for me, and a lot of other players that I talk to, is like you have to get to a place mentally that a dark place or whatever, and it takes about 8 weeks to get there. It's a switch. And sometimes I'm gonna tell you the big difference between guys that make it and don't make it is whether you really have a legitimate switch or not.
Hmm.
And it's a switch that you spend the rest of your life to make sure that it don't come on. You know what I'm saying?
We got 32 weeks of this. We're switched on.
That's going to be yes, but you spend the rest of your life making sure that switch never comes on unless you have to. Because once the switch comes off, there is no off. That's the greatest thing. They always say, "Well, what did you have that people didn't have?" It's not what I didn't have. It's what I have. I have a switch that don't go off. That's it. That's the difference.
You flipped it up and then busted it.
It just don't. There is no off switch. That's what makes guys really, really great or be able to make it or not. Well, and a lot of guys are facing it right now. There's always a lot of talking, and this is the funny season and all that. But ultimately, when you get down to whether it's college football, we talked about the whole new, suggestions that they never heard that we just came up with. We should need to copyright it now.
We should.
All that stuff is great. Transfer portal, NIL, guys can get cars, you can get change, you can do all the stuff and all that in NFL. And, I'm looking at Jalen Ramsey, who's borderline Hall of Fame, but, one of the top corners still. He's going to get traded. You see Smith, the tight end, is going to get traded. So I'll let you know Miami's in full rebuild, Jake Sorensen. You guys
you see his prediction on the board in there? He says 4-13 this year.
Yeah, that's probably about right. Because they're getting rid of all their good players.
Mm-hmm.
Now they're telling the team, we want to win a championship. You're not.
Not acting like
you don't
it.
want to.
No.
Yeah, so you might as well just stop. Listen, we're in rebuild. Okay, I'll take care of your bodies. Let's just try to get through the season.
Mm-hmm.
Ready, break. You would get a lot farther with guys on the team.
Being honest about it.
Being honest.
Mm-hmm.
And as a professional, you should. And you should be more honest now because of the way the league's set up, but they choose not to. But, like all that stuff in the offseason is fun and games. I saw Lane Johnson. He's on TikTok now doing stuff and doing skits and stuff and all that, right?
Right.
Obviously, Jason Kelsey, is with New Heights. Their podcast is next level. That's fun. That's the fun stuff, right? Saquon Barkley being able, play golf with the presidents and all that other stuff. That's fun.
Mm-hmm.
But come football time, that will not save you.
No.
I'm telling you. I've seen guys not be able to turn the off-season switch off.
That's probably much easier to do. Come in with an off-season mentality than leave the competitive mentality on the whole time.
It's much easier for guys to not just float by, and it's a full year of off-season.
Mm. I assume it's pretty obvious. You can tell which guys are in that mode. In the locker
majority,
room?
But then but guys are really, really savvy and they know how to hide it. Because it's easier to fake it like you're working hard versus just shutting up and showing up. That's the hardest thing for guys to do now. Just to shut up and go play. And I don't mean shut up and dribble and all that. I mean, what I mean is, look,
be about business.
Playtime is playtime.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, fun time is fun time. That's that's the off season. But when I'm playing, I like to win, and that's what's fun to me. I don't like to lose at anything. I don't like wasting my time running into Larry Allen or running into Steve McKinney or running into Reuben Brown, which I really don't want to do on a day-to-day basis. But I know I have to. So I didn't expended all this mental power to hate the dude that I'd actually like in order to keep a job. And then we play on Sundays, and then I look over and you ain't invested, you ain't broke a sweat yet, and we in the middle of the second quarter in Miami.
Oof.
You know what I'm saying? Or something like that.
Yeah.
Or you keep making the same mistakes. I'm okay with friction. If you have a team with no friction,
probably unhealthy.
It's unhealthy. If you don't. Because if you don't think like and we'll bounce over here. I know that, I read something where I'll say this right before we go on the clock. Listen, man, you guys on the text is talking about texting 2009 defense the greatest of all time. I'm sorry, it's not. And this is not taking anything away from those dudes. They were enjoyable to watch. They ain't on that level, man. I'm sorry to bust your bubble. It doesn't matter when they played or whatever. They ain't on that level that 94, 95, 96, 97 was at. Even the early 2000s. I'm sorry. All right, now we got that out the chest.
I will say 2009 is the best defense I have seen, but I was not around for y'all.
Right. And you know what? I like that statement. It's just like for somebody that says LeBron's the greatest of all time. It's because they seen him. They didn't get to see Jordan. Probably didn't really watch enough to watch Kobe because they were maybe too young.
They're still in diapers.
Right. And they definitely didn't ever see Kareem.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they didn't see Oscar Robinson. It's all based on theirs.
Right.
But I'm just telling you. And if they were, I'd tell you.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'll tell you. I'll tell you this. The only team that really could have hung with us is that Miami team.
0-1 Miami.
Yeah. We would have beat the brakes off of USC. Joe Burrow wouldn't have finished the game.
And you're just giving the U respect because that's family. You don't.
I'm giving you respect because Jeremy Shockey would have gave me some problems. Hey, I'm just telling you. I thought I could cover. Jeremy Shockey, Bubba Franks, and Greg Olson. They would have been. I had problems with one game against Washington's Cam Cleveland. He was going up to see him on me left and right. I got so Austin. This is when you know I was mad. I was mad at the safety. I got mad at Coach D. I said, "Listen, man, you got me running up to see him all day. I'm stopping at 15." So that's it. They would give us a little problem.
Did you see Shockey in the league then?
I did.
Did he go better for you?
I did. You know, I played better against him. I caught him early.
Nice.
Okay. I played better against him. And actually, I played good against Dallas Clark. I played good against Kent Dilger. You want to know who gave me the problems?
Who gave you the problems?
Is it Marcus Pollard?
Really?
Man, I swear to God, I would fight him right now. I looked
on the spot.
Here's how bad it is, Austin. This is how personal it was, and I know that these players today don't do it. Sometimes when I have like rage going through my head and just thinking bad thoughts, then I got to, call somebody and say, I look him up. He's a good looking brother. But just something about him just make me want to fight him. And one time I locked him down and he kind of made this comment like, yeah, you lucky they weren't throwing it to me today. It just something like that.
But was that better or worse than "you're a nice young linebacker"?
That hurt my heart. That hurt my heart, man. I was so mad at myself because the things I was saying to him, I should never say to another human unless I really want to get to that level.
Mm-hmm.
But I blame Danny Smith. He knew a young, impressionable,
trying to make a
living in Buffalo.
Man of the world.
Trying to give me some extra wings. You buy 12, you get 6 free. You know what I'm saying? Wing night. But yeah, Marcus Pollard. And that's not the and you know what? I know he's a nice dude because I looked him up. I know he does a lot of charity work, but I still fight him.
He's with Jacksonville right now.
He's a coach, right?
Director of player engagement and youth football.
That must be where he's from. He
is from Lynette, Alabama.
He was number 81, right?
Believe so.
Yeah.
Yes. 81 in Indy, 81 in Detroit, 88 in Seattle, and 81 in Atlanta.
The tight end?
Yeah.
He played with all them teams?
Mm-hmm. 192 career games.
He cost me about $15,000.
Woof.
Kicked him in his head. Hey, Austin, you remember when you do kickball? I kicked him so hard in his helmet, and I thought I was slick with it. This is the Colts used to
tweet.
Hey, the Colts. What's the dude? Ryan Grigsby or the dude that told on the deflate gate for the Colts?
Oh, Grigson. Yeah,
Colts. You guys been snitching all the time.
Hey, what can I say? We moved in the dark.
Hey,
what can I say?
They turned me in 4 times, twice in one game.
Would that have been Mora or Dungy?
It was Dungy.
Dang.
Yeah.
Minnesota's very own.
I was like, man, these dudes.
Like he knew.
At first they beating us, and then you just being acting like little punks, like little chumps.
Makes you feel any better? They haven't won much since. So.
Yeah, I still ain't let me get that money back though.
Also, Lynette, Alabama is about 45 minutes from Terrell Farley, USA.
Terrell Farley is from Phoenix, Alabama. He's not from Columbus, Georgia. I hope you're listening. Anyways, we're going to take a quick break, come back. I got to cool down Marcus Pollock. I'm just thinking how much money he cost me, and now he's in with Jacksonville. I got to think there's a reason I need to go down to Jacksonville and come see him. When they play Houston, I'm going to be on the sidelines. I got to go see him.
Make an appointment.
We got some things to get off our chest. Anyways, Jay Forward, Austin Over. We'll be right back.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Load up on meat and more this spring at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese with great selections of T-bones, tomahawks, ribeyes, filet mignon, brisket, sirloin, and so much more. The Mercado has locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, where you can have $2 draft beer every Thursday night from 4 to 8 p.m. and half-price espresso drinks on Fridays from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town. Saturday. Eagle Raceway is open for a full season of dirt track racing action every Saturday night. Don't miss the epic battles on the high banks of Eagle Raceway each Saturday between the Nebraska Septic Sprint Cars, Nebraska Lottery Modifieds, Avid Realty Sport Mods, Valentino's Hobby Stocks, and A1 Iron Stock Cars. Let's go racing. Eagle Raceway, just 10 miles east of Lincoln on O Street. Check out the full schedule at eagleraceway.com.
Ticket listeners know a dream team when they see one. At Applied Connective, we've been in the game for 20 years and have developed a team of world-class leaders in all things IT. From cybersecurity and Microsoft products to physical security, audio-video, infrastructure, business phone systems, and anything in between. We'll help you leverage technology to become your most secure, efficient, and profitable. Head to our website to check out real reviews and testimonials and sign up for a free tech consultation. We can show you where you might be vulnerable, inefficient, or overspending. It's a game changer, and it's totally free. Claim yours right now at appliedconnective.com.
Batter up! Join us this summer at Haymarket Park for 50 action-packed Salt Dogs games running now through August. Visit saltdogs.com for updates on everything you need to know about weekly promotions, giveaways, and special events. That's where you'll find the latest updates to make sure you catch all the excitement and never miss a homestand you want to attend. Haymarket Park is your ticket to fun all summer long. Visit saltdogs.com to get your tickets and unleash the fun.
Rain, snow, or shine, John Henry's is here to keep your home's plumbing systems working properly no matter what kind of weather Nebraska throws at us. From unclogging toilets and drains to installing new water heaters and water treatment systems, John Henry's is your plumbing expert in the Lincoln and Omaha communities. Visit us at calljh.com or call John Henry's.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air,
and Electrical.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Copple Chevrolet GMC, and they're having the biggest hail sale they've ever had. A huge opportunity is at your front door right now. Some of these cars we're fixing, some we're not, and some it's totally up to you. New Sierra starting at $15,000 off list. New Canyons at $8,500 off list. New body styles on the Acadias, $3,000 off list. You need to hurry as there's going to be a lot of people heading to Louisville. Check us out at copplecars.com. Stock numbers G121492, G187747, and G196599.
Father's Day is coming soon, and you know what that means. Backyard parties and lots of grilling. You know what's more embarrassing than an overcooked piece of meat? A dirty, disgusting, and grimy grill. Let the pros at Husker Grill Cleaning keep you ready all grilling season. They'll take your grill apart piece by piece, scrub every inch, and reassemble it so your grill can look and perform its best. Visit their website, huskergrillcleaning.com today to schedule your appointment. Husker Grill Cleaning, serving Lincoln, Omaha, Malcolm, and more. Take control of your health with the DASH scan at Advanced Medical Imaging. The DASH scan is a full-body MRI designed for advanced health screening. This dynamic approach provides exceptionally sharp images across multiple organ systems, helping to detect potential concerns early. With minimal radiation and no invasive procedures, the DASH scan offers a safe, comprehensive look at your health. Plus, results are delivered faster than ever, giving both patients and physicians confidence in screening and diagnosis. Your health is too important to wait. Schedule your DASH scan today at Advanced Medical Imaging. Visit amimaging.com or call 402-484-6677 to learn more.
Back to Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Back, Jay Foreman, Austin Norman. Quick segment here. Get back on time before we turn it over to Ticket Weeknights. It is Lighthouse Wednesdays, following up a great Give the Lincoln Day by Lighthouse. And all the charities and nonprofits in Lincoln did a really, obviously was a great day for Give the Lincoln Day. And
you got to get that swing warmed up, Jay.
Yeah, I think I'm going to do more riding and drinking. I'm going to do more coaching.
I saw someone on Twitter said that their new go-to golf course drink was a frozen transfusion, like a slushy version of it.
Man, I'm going to tell you what, man. I'm going to give a shout out to my man, Nate Hill. Officer Nate Hill. He retired from one part of the department, and he's still on. He told me, him and Nate Green, Dr. Nate Green. It's all about who you hang out with.
Oh, yeah.
Nate and Nate.
Who needs Mike and Mike? We got Nate and Nate.
You got Nate and Nate. Two good dudes. They like transfusions. So one day, I decided to make my own. Knock me dead off my feet. Hey, Austin, I need to told you, I was laid out in the garage. I laid out in the garage, and the Timberwolves, I woke up, Timberwolves was getting 40 burger put on them to get OKC dead. I was done dealing. Nate Hill. Me and Nate Hill, I always tell him, one thing I wish I would have done, because he worked at where he'd sometimes get some late calls. I want to do some ride-alongs with him, but I was too scared. I'm a big target, man.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But I told him we need to come out with our own little, Miami Vice bad boys, Ebony and Ivory,
Yeah.
Little old dad cops.
I see where you're coming from.
Pull over.
Yeah.
So I'll be like, hey, man, how bad you want to get off this ticket? How much you got in your wallet? I need some transfusion.
Jay Foreman's one night on the service was a fun one.
Right?
You had to give the money back.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Hey, give me that, man. I'll tell the dudes, hey, I can do something more with that. Then
I'll stretch it.
Hey, let me take something off your hands real quick. Yeah, no, they're good dudes, man. But excited for the Lighthouse event on Monday out there at Hillcrest, and then obviously stay tuned for Bill Mishler and company for Lighthouse Wednesdays. They do light it up, and I'm sure they'll go over Give the Lincoln Day. Then we got top 5, top 3, I think, this year. We always we stay winning.
What we do?
That's what we do. Jay Foreman, Austin Norman. We'll holler at you tomorrow.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
Saturday. Eagle Raceway is open for a full season of dirt track racing action every Saturday night. Don't miss the epic battles on the high banks of Eagle Raceway each Saturday between the Nebraska Septic Sprint cars